7 p.m. to 8 p.m. My name's Okumuringa Christine. Before we dive into any of the stories, let's first have a look at the news making headlines today. In the headlines tonight, Kelalur Kingdom celebrates the 13th coronation anniversary in Parombo Chiefdom. Leaders tasked to ensure peace and stability along Uganda and South Sudan border. And Ajumani health workers set a committee to head the State House structure. This and more in the NILE CAST News Bulletin. It's the 28th of October 2023 and you're most welcome to the NILE CAST on your West Nile Television. Now let us dive into some of the stories of the evening. The King of the Kelalur Kingdom, His Majesty Philip Rauni Olarker III, has called upon the leaders in the Greater Nebi to mobilize people to spearhead development in line with the government programs. The King made these remarks today on the 13th coronation anniversary of His Majesty Philip Olarker Rauni III on the King of the Kelalur Kingdom in Parombo Chiefdom. Take a look.
The King made these remarks this afternoon during the 13th coronation anniversary of His Majesty Philip Olarker Rauni III, the King of Alur Kingdom, in a function held at Parombo Chiefdom. The King further observes that it is the mandate of Alur Kingdom to unite all people to benefit from government programs in order to be elevated from poverty. While addressing the congregations at the coronation, Olarker said that government programs must benefit each household without religious, tribal differences. The King also applauded his counterparts from Acholi, Madi and DR Congo who managed to grace the occasion.
The message we are taking to the president is, as always, the people of Alur are peaceful, humble people, but we still have our pledges and our promises to be fulfilled. Our chiefs keep asking me when they are coming to meet with the president and for the pledges he made to their circle and the buildings. And the people of Alur as a whole also want to know. I know the Secretary General touched on it, but our main roads still need tarmac. The people of Parombo want to see Naravur, Parombo, Kuching Road worked on. The people of Okoro want to see their road worked on. We don't have many roads, but the ones we have are very important to the livelihoods of the people of the Greater Nebi region. If there is any money left in the budget, there is also some more Young Road where we are.
Meanwhile, Ronald Tomwa, Chairperson Local Council 3, Parombo Town Council, used the function to inform the government about the appalling state of Parombo Health Center 3, which serves more than the expected population of over 17,234, both from Parombo and the neighboring country DR Congo. According to Tomwa, the state of roads are also affecting service delivery to the people of Greater Nebi.
Nilishinde wa tulitusha yuko honorable minister niwoto pesa makata bora kama ndongo na mashonge mnyiti pinya mkeka manyotere nyanya kimao ishi wale wa niwoto pesa bora dono tokongo ngudumwa chema lengo ngudumwa nanga yobo honorable minister mauche well, one minute shungu what representative Dano, Ipatadek, Yadul Matonto, Neto Ayan Mapon, và kit lembe sama bieru lembe pangudu o services ni mukende ma kan te kana ngoma leno madam te kana ngoma len sali ko modia ngino tene ki bogu wona ya no kwei long sabe da tsela ke wano yu para mi shoko ko de ya no neno ento kitsa wona salu mo endo o kele bengu salu ka o kele bengu wona no honorable members of parliament mo de kitie ko ko kila she mo wechu kuma doge unenya yamente utimpi mo ko didano mege.
In the meantime, Right Honorable Richard Todwong, Secretary General, National Resistance Movement, NRM, who came as a friend to the King, assured the people of Greater Nebi that the roads will be worked on as it is in the NRM manifesto.
Already built Oluyo substation, as you know, and the extension is moving. I'm sure they have reached towards the Nile, to cross the Nile. There was some bit of delays because these ridges were passing through private land, and these private landowners were asking for compensation from Ministry of Energy. We have been involved in some of the community mediation to make sure that we speed up the process, and we are aware, and we have already handled. There were about 3-4 families that had issues, and they were delaying because they were caught injunction that the line should not pass through their land. This is a private land, and so we have been helping to speed up the process, and I'm very confident it has been handled.
However, the chief guest of the anniversary celebration, Honorable Minister Grace Kushin Freedom, who represented His Excellency the President of Uganda, delivered the message and thanked the King for his tremendous contributions to the country. She urged cultural leaders to work together with the ruling government. She delivered 20 million shillings from the President of this country. The coronation anniversary has attracted different development partners like Plan International, MTN Uganda, IDI, among others. The 13th anniversary of Alur Kingdom was celebrated under the theme Educating and Retention of Girls in School. Alfred Jawok, West Nile TV, Nile Cast.
And more in our stories, the local government leaders of the Central Equatorial State of the 4 districts of Adjumani, Moyo, Koboko and Yumbe have been tasked to take charge of their people so as to ensure peace and stability along the Uganda and South Sudan border. These remarks were made by His Excellency Adil Emmanuel Anthony, the Governor of Central Equatorial State, during a joint cross-border security meeting in Yumbe. Okumu Dominic has more.
The meeting, which brought in several leaders ranging from cultural, political and civil servants, turned up to address some of the issues affecting the peaceful coexistence between Uganda and South Sudan. His Excellency Adil Anthony Emmanuel, the governor of South Sudan, implored the local government leaders of the two states to reign over their people so as to ensure there is peace and stability along Uganda and South Sudan border.
Our mandate is to exert more effort to track out down anything that intended to squeeze South Sudan and Uganda into a headlock while there are major regional international encounters that need both countries to work together. As local government and state government, we need to prevail over our communities along the border that hinder mutual coexistence between these friendly nations. It is our duty in this meeting to protect the interests of our two countries and prevail over communities that want to perpetuate violence along the border. Both countries need each other to maintain peace, security, economic stability, and therefore communities and local government along the borders need to understand that work towards promoting that mutual cooperation and collaboration is unity and love. We had made numerous resolutions in our previous meetings, my brothers and sisters. Because of our response was limited with time and resources, the resolution have been constrained as opportunity for wrong groups and individuals have generated hate, violence, and crimes along the border. However, I want to commend the effort of our military and security agencies for information sharing and interventions that were made to maintain peace, security, and provision of safe passage of our people, goods, and services.
Honorable Oleru Huda, the State Minister for Defense and Veteran Affairs, said during their interactions with the two heads of state of both Uganda and South Sudan, the two leaders said the borders were created through irrational means, therefore urged the people to be calm and wait for the two governments to resolve the border issues.
He talked about these borders not being irrational because they were not created by us. They were created by our colonial masters who had their interest to do it, which interests were not in our favor. Therefore, when the borders were created, they were not following the natural elements. They were not following that it should be through the river, or it should go beyond, or leave the mountain. So they were so irrational in a way that it divided us in our tribes and in many other things. Therefore, today, specifically in Yumbe, you will get Kokus who are now Ugandans, and you will also get Kokus who are South Sudan people. But this is a one tribe. But when they were dividing, when they were petitioning, they did not consider this one together.
Ambassador Nyok Atpas, the Director of Borders and Foreigners in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the Republic of South Sudan, said Africa cannot develop if people do not look at themselves as the same people.
And our purpose is one, that's taking Africa beyond the sky limit. And you cannot take Africa beyond the sky limit if we don't recognize that we are one people and our land is one and we are sharing our land. Demarcation is just a matter of artificial demarcation. Just to indicate that, okay, this is home of so and this is home of so. Just like your child, if your son married, he will also have his own home and he will have also his own boundaries. This does not mean that you cannot visit your son in his house and he cannot come back to you again. So this is just for the purposes of administrative discharging of responsibilities. You can see even sometimes even our elephants and our buffaloes are even more intellectual than us. Because every season they come and they meet together and they do their own thing. They will cross from South Sudan to Uganda and there's no problem from elephants of Uganda. They even don't ask themselves business. For us, we are bothering ourselves with business here. And for them, they have no problem. So why don't we follow example of our elephants and our buffaloes?
Honorable Anyama Williams, the local council 5 chairman Moyo, said it's because of the sober leadership of the West Nile districts that border South Sudan that the border issue has not escalated even after several provocations from the South Sudan authorities.
If not, we would have seen other things that we would not love to see here, especially with a number of provocations coming from the other side. The deployments that we have seen in areas of Gobiri, we have seen deployments in Lefodi sub-county. These to us are a sign of provocation that if sober leadership does not otherwise act with the highest level of maturity, it can undermine all the good things that we have done here and we are doing. So I really want to appeal to everybody here that these engagements should really achieve the purpose intended. We have bigger things to achieve as two states. We have economic interests to protect and achieve. Our communities are poor. This infights, this intrigue, this continuous conflict does not transform our households, does not build the kind of society we want to build. May we really focus correctly and do the right things as both parties in this area.
Honorable Asiku Abdul Mutwalib, the chairman local council 5 Yumbe, say it's unfortunate that some of the leaders take advantage of their people by influencing them to cause border disputes among the two countries.
We as leaders have forgotten about our history and taken advantage of our positions to destabilize the innocent communities. To the attention of the audience, the driving factors, Your Excellency, to the unrest between the two communities are premised on the following factors: misrepresentation and misinterpretation of the international boundary between the two countries. Instead of using science, the border between the two countries is very clear and we don't dispute it, but for selfish reasons, some leaders in Central Equatoria State and the Kajukeji administration have continued to mislead the Koku community to move into Ugandan territory and claim land in Uganda to be part of the South Sudan. This is very unfortunate. Senior leaders in Kajukeji administration even pronounced that GPS machines can be manipulated and based on border demarcations. This, to me, cannot help us address the challenges that we are going through.
The cross-border peace and security meeting is the third meeting being conducted between the two countries, with Yumbe district hosting the two meetings and one was hosted by Moyo district. The meeting under the theme revamping efforts to strengthen peaceful coexistence along the border also made the delegates to unanimously agree to leave the border issues in the hands of the two governments of South Sudan and Uganda to decide the fate, but rather discover the different potentials of developing the two states so as to promote peaceful coexistence. I'm Dominic Anthony Okumu for West Nile TV, Nile Cast.
And more in our stories. The health workers in Adjumani district have set a committee to head the tractor received from the State House as a donation from His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni in a bid to improve on agriculture commercialization and output in the district. Take a look. Health workers in Adjumani district have set a committee to head the contractor received from State House as a donation from His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni in a bid to improve on the agriculture commercialization and output in the district. Speaking to journalists, the Assistant Principal Nursing Officer Sister Laila Olivia Oume has expressed her heartfelt joy to the Office of the Presidency through the Woman Member of Parliament Honorable Ababiku Jeska for the donation of the tractor, which was to aid the agriculture commercialization to all health workers in the district who had once been experiencing difficulties in agriculture. Meanwhile, Sister Lucy Koma, one of the principal senior nursing officers working in Adjumani District General Hospital in infectious disease control, stated that it is the work of the health workers to see that the contractor is handled well. Therefore, they have selected a committee who are heading the management, starting from the village health team, health center twos, and retired health workers who will all benefit with low price service.
The moment we went ahead, we formed teams in the sub-counties who are representatives from all the health departments who will be beneficiaries for the what? For the tractor. And we went ahead to at least discuss on what amount should we give this. At least we put fair, we had suggested fairer charges to our staffs, including from grassroots, those VHTs, those ones who have retired, those are still health workers, they will get benefit. And those outsiders who would also wish to get the tractor busy, we offer the services. And we are really grateful for her. We made many requisitions as health workers, and we know one by one she will fulfill it for us.
Onzima Allen and Kumaringa Christine for West Nile Television, NILE CAST. And with that, viewer, that marks the end of the NILE CAST only on West Nile Television.